Assalamu alaikum students. Today I am going to start practical 5 and it's lecture 2. Yesterday you had remembered that I was telling you the most important practical. Its name was rocks and weather instruments, but half of this part was done in the previous lecture because already the lecture was very much video was very lengthy, so I thought to cover it into the two part. So this is basically the part 2 of practical 5 and the practical name was rocks and weather instrument. We had done earlier the rocks, its type with their diagrams, and we had also discussed the weather instruments, a flow chart of the weather instruments in very detail, but the half part of it, like the thermometers, last category, wet and dry bulb thermometer, was left to discuss. So we will start our today's lecture with a weather instrument that is named as thermometer, to measure or to keep the record of temperature of maximum and the minimum temperature by using different types of thermometers. So we had discussed two types of the thermometer, the simplest one and the 6 maximum and minimum thermometer type, but the third category, as you can see on the board, that is the wet and dry bulb thermometer. Firstly, before to start, you all need to notice, and this thing is very noticeable, that the name of the apparatus is basically indicate how does it's going to get operate, and what will be the methodology to use this thermometer. You can see the name of the thermometer is wet and dry bulb thermometer. So it means two types of bulbs are going to get used, or two types of thermometer is going to get attached with it. So two type of bulbs and two type of thermometers are going to get used in this practical. And in this apparatus, what do we need to do? Firstly, we need to understand how it's going to get work, and then we need to take a look on the diagram. So firstly, take a look on the diagram. Girls, this is the diagram of the wet and dry bulb thermometer, and you can see in this diagram the one end of the thermometer is attached with the dry opening and second wet is attached with a water. So this is how is going to get work, and both of the thermometers are attached with themselves, attached with each other. So let's start the process of methodology and the working of this thermometer. Okay, here you can see the wet and dry bulb thermometer. As I have said, it consists of two identical simple thermometer. So we are going to use the simple thermometer. No need to use any advanced or any important or any modernized type of thermometers are not going to get used in it. Rather, very simple and very normal type of thermometers have been used in this apparatus, but both of the thermometers are fixed to a wooden framework, as I have shown in to you in the diagram, that both of the thermometer, either the dry one or the wet one, both are simplest in their manner and both are attached with themselves by a wooden framework. Okay, now we need to know how does it work. So there are obviously, if two thermometers are going to get used, they must be having their separate bulbs. Let's talk over firstly the second thermometer. The bulb of the second thermometer is wrapped with a Muslim cloth. Muslim cloth, what does it mean? मलमल का कपड़ा, मलमल के कपड़े को मुस्लिम क्लोथ कहा जाता है. तो सेकंड थर्मामीटर को रैप कर दिया जाता है मुस्लिम क्लोथ से, एंड विच इंडिकेट इट विल कंटिन्यूसली सप्लाई द वाटर, और द बल्ब surface of the bulb will remain attached with water. Okay, now let's take a look on the first thermometer, the bulb of the first thermometer. The bulb of the first thermometer is not attached with any wet opening. It is kept free and exposed. So what does it mean? If it is not attached with any surface or any water or any wet surfaces, so what the dry bulb thermometer or the reading will do at that time? Girls, it is very important to know that dry bulb readings are not affected by the movement of water vapor in the air. because it is not attached with any wet surface. While if we take a look on the wet bulb reading, as it is attached with the Muslim cloth, so it means the humidity or the amount of water vapor which were present in the air, that obviously deal and do something with the process of evaporation. So this all these things are going to get directed, that the greater the humidity in the air, so the wet bulb thermometer, as it is dependent upon the amount of water vapor, so the rate of evaporation is going to get disturbed the readings of the wet bulb reading. Okay, so dry bulb reading will not be affected, while the wet bulb reading will also be affected, because there is an attachment and there is a link with the surface of water with it. Okay, what is actually the result? The greater the humidity in the air, slower the rate of evaporation, and the result will be it will lower the temperature. So the dry bulb temperature and readings are not going to get affected, while in this case of thermometer, when two thermometers are attached with it with a wooden box, the one was dry, the second one was wet. The wet was attached with the continuous supply of water, so the reading of the wet bulb will be affected. And if we are like going to know and check and have the correct reading by using this apparatus, the wet and dry bulb reading, what's the way and what other remedies or the corrections we can do at the time? We need to cap the vessel of the wet bulb thermometer with the distilled water. So distilled water, no errors will occur. And secondly, there shouldn't be any attachment or the exposure with the sunlight or any other amount of heat. So these are the two important like we can say the ways to avoid any incorrectness or any error during the time of reading. So this is all about the wet and dry bulb thermometer. The wet and dry bulb thermometer, two thermometer attached with the wooden frame. The bulb dry one is not affected by any movement of water vapor in the air. Wet bulb is affected, and in the result it's lower the temperature. And if we are going to like want the correct reading, what do we need to do? We need to attach with the distilled water, or to avoid any direct contact with the sunshine or any other source of heat. So this is the wet and dry bulb thermometer, the working. Let's move on towards the other weather instrument that was named as barometer. Okay, another important weather instrument which is known as barometer, and you have discussed in theoretical portion of your physical geography, and where you have discussed at the barograph or the barometer. And this apparatus, this instrument is being used to measure the atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure of an air is easily and quickly measured by an instrument known as barometer. And obviously different varieties and different types of barometers are in practice. The one is named as simple barometer, which is also known as mercury barometer. The second category is the Fortin barometer, and third one is the advanced or modernized type of the atmospheric pressure measurement instrument that is named as aneroid barometer. So let's take a look on the simple barometer. Okay girls, here you can see the diagram. Firstly, the mercury barometer. The diagram of the mercury barometer is like this. This is the mercury barometer. Okay, after seeing the diagram of the simple or the mercury barometer, we can easily understand the working of this barometer, this atmospheric pressure measuring instrument. It is very simplest one, and it was basically firstly invented by Torsila in 1643, and first time he used the simple or mercury barometer. He took a glass tube with a uniform radius, though the same radii, when length was above like 10 meter. One end of this barometer was opened while the other end of this instrument was closed. We filled it with a mercury with no air bulb left, and then we immersed it in a trough with mercury. The barometer is known as Torsila barometer, as the name indicates that the person who basically invented it. So simple mercury barometer, the movement of the mercury will decide the reading of the atmospheric pressure, whether it goes up or down. So a very simplest instrument. Okay girls, here you can see in this diagram the second type of the barometer, which is named as 14 barometer, and you can see how is it has been drawn. A very neat diagram you can see of the student, and you need to draw it like in the same manner on your blank page just in front of the 14th barometers right up. So let's take a look on the 14th barometer theoretical portion. Okay, here you can see the second category, second type of the barometer, which is named as 14th barometer, and also the name indicate because the person who invented it was 14. The physical construction and the characteristic of the 14th barometer, as I have shown you in the diagram, was same as the simple or the mercury barometer, but the difference is the lower end of this barometer is attached with leather bag, and that leather bag contains the mercury. So whenever in this barometer pressure increases or rises, the mercury flows into the tube. And what is inside the tube? Inside the tube with a slit, a vernier scale is inserted, which can also be further adjusted if it is needed with a screw, and there is a thermometer attached which helps to make the readings correct. So this barometer is basically a type of instrument which is attached with a thermometer, and with the help of the thermometers the correct readings can easily be obtained. And this thermometer is basically this barometer is basically concerned and have a great link with the mercury. Okay, the third category, the third type of the barometer, as you can see on the board, the name of this barometer is aneroid barometer. This is very hard, very different type of the instrument with no liquid is used in it, and it was first time invented by the Lucien Vide in 1843. The working of this aneroid barometer, it is consisted of a metal box, a very different type of the metal box with a thin alloy, and air is taken out of this box to avoid any to create any partial vacuum. Its thin surface is attached with the change in the pressure. It's very thin or flexible surface which basically show a difference whenever the change in the pressure does occur. Okay, inside of this apparatus there is a spring, and that spring is attached and avoid the lid to collapse under the pressure. Whenever it will be under the pressure of the atmosphere, the spring is basically responsible to avoid the lid to collapse, and then this also responsible to restore the shape of the instrument to avoid with the decrease in temperature. And once the process will be completed, the process can again be reversed, and at that time the process, when it is completed, the needle will move and it will go towards the anti-clockwise direction. So this is how the aneroid barometer is responsible to measure the pressure, atmospheric pressure of the air. So this is all about the barometer, the weather instrument, third weather instrument, which is responsible to measure the amount of rainfall, is named as rain gauge. Okay girls, here you can see the aneroid barometer. This is the aneroid barometer, a complete diagram of the aneroid barometer. Okay girls, this is the last weather instrument which is used to measure the amount of rainfall. A very simple instrument. Amount of rainfall falling in a particular area can easily be measured by this rain gauge instrument. You need to fix that instrument in the ground or any open area where shouldn't be any hindrance in the amount of rainfall, and then I will give you the diagram of the rain gauge. How does it look like? Firstly, we need to take a look how does it operate. It consists of a metal cylinder with a funnel attached and exactly fit into it. If it is not exactly and completely fit into it, so some of the drops could be like fall into some other places. So there is a need to fit a funnel accurately, and the rainfall falls in the receiving vessel. All the amount of rainfall will be recorded and will be measured automatically. All the rainfall that falls on the surface of the funnel flows into the vessel, and after reaching into the vessel or in the jar, the amount of the rainfall will not only be collected or measured, rather it can easily be calculated in the units like the millimeter or the inches. So this is how the rain gauge is an instrument, a weather instrument, to measure the amount of collected rainfall. And now I will show you the diagram of the rain gauge. Okay girls, here you can see the diagram of the rain gauge, and you can see the funnel, the cylinder, and the outer cylinder, and the inner cylinder, and the reading which could be in the millimeter or the inches. So this is the rain gauge, and you will be drawing this picture in front of the rain gauge write-up material. So this is all about the practical 5. Now I will give you the detail of practical 6 in the next lecture. Allah Hafiz.